Hello and welcome back to the pack, everybody. Amarok here, and I want to start off by saying I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but I've had some things going on in the real life here, trying to get things organized, get things rolling, and got a couple things in the works as well that I think you guys will enjoy. But to kind of get us back into it, I thought we'd start with something a little more, I say laid back, but apparently this game isn't as laid back as I initially thought it was going to be. Today we're going to be playing the test. So the test, it's a series of questions it's going to ask me. It's going to apparently reveal some deep, dark truth to me. It's got a bunch of uncomfortable questions and whatnot, but I've been told it's really good, and I'm very curious. So let's get into this and see what all of this is about. Oh, well, that's a lot of blood. Now, in order to begin, this is the most important part of this entire experience. You will be asked a series of questions and you must answer them honestly. Now, when I say answer them honestly, I don't mean answer them how you'd like to answer them. Answer them with truth, even if that's hard to face. We all want to be good people. We rarely want to admit our faults, grievances, or mistakes. But you must decide what you truly want. Do you want this to work properly? Do you want the truth behind yourself, your destiny in this world? Or would you rather live a lie just to hide from yourself? The process is very simple in theory. Just answer a long series of questions. What's difficult is self-analyzing your own psyche to evaluate the truths in your own mind and life so that you can predict your future. You see, as long as you're honest with these questions and answers, you'll be able to see your own future here. This will tell you things you already know, but don't necessarily know that you know. Okay, that's pretty cool. As long as the answers you provide to the questions asked are 100% honest and true, this process will simply unlock a part of your mind that you do not have natural access to. This isn't psychic. This isn't a personality test. This is simply nature. This is you. This is your own mind. This is simply nature taking its course. This is the human brain at work unlocking hidden truths within itself. While attempting to answer many of these questions, you'll often wonder things like, well, this answer depends on the circumstance. Create your own circumstances in your mind and answer the questions with a simple yes or no as you see fit. You may not understand nor realize it, but your mind will develop the situation required to answer your question in the way it needs to be answered. I invite you to grab a drink of water, sit back, relax, and enjoy the experience. We are about to begin with a series of questions, and provided that you're a willing participant, we will be unlocking some substantial information today. Here we go. Okay. Do you believe that everyone should always be treated fairly? Yeah, I do. Do you believe that everyone should always be treated equally? Yeah, I do. Have you ever invented anything? Well, I don't know if I'd call them inventions, but I know I've been pretty innovative in my past. I'm pretty good at critical thinking and coming up with a solution to something. So yeah, I would say I've invented something. Do you believe that you are worthy of someone's time investment? Yeah, I believe everybody does. Why wouldn't I? Would you consider yourself to be open-minded? Heck yeah. Would you say that you sometimes have trust issues? Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say trust issues. I do sometimes not trust some people, but I don't know. Would that qualify as a trust issue? I don't know. You know what? I'm probably gonna say yeah. I'm probably gonna say yeah. Would you be alright with living alone forever? I do like my solitude, but nobody really likes living alone. Well, okay, I won't say nobody. There are some people out there who probably do enjoy living by themselves, but I don't think I like the idea of living alone forever. So no. Do you always give somebody the benefit of the doubt? Usually I do. Usually I do. You know, yeah. Yeah, I typically do. Do you dislike the sound of your own voice? No, I'd be in pretty big trouble if I did. Do you like the color blue more than the color black? Nah. Black, gold, and red. Those are my colors. If you found money on the street and knew who it belonged to, would you give it back to him? If I knew who it belonged to, yeah. Are you sure you want the answers you seek? Yeah. I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't. Are you afraid of spiders? A little bit. I wouldn't say I'm an arachnophobe, but yeah, spiders aren't necessarily my favorite thing. If you knew you would emerge unscathed, would you jump into molten lava? Alright, hold up. I'm going to take a minute to think about this one. So, this is saying if I knew I would emerge unscathed. This doesn't say without pain. So I'm going to go with no. Because just because I would emerge unscathed doesn't mean it wouldn't hurt like hell. So no, I'm not going to jump into molten lava. Would you consider yourself to be fat? Ooh. Well, I'm not necessarily on the skinny side, but you know, I'm rocking a good dad bod here. But I wouldn't call myself necessarily fat. No, I wouldn't call myself fat. Would you say that you have lots of charisma? Oh, well, you know, that's also another difficult one. I've been told by people that I'm very charismatic, but at the same time, I don't necessarily feel like I am charismatic. So if it's saying, would I say that I have lots of charisma, I would have to go with no. Other people might argue with me on that, but I'm going to have to go with no on this one. Have you ever wished you could be temporarily frozen? No. No. This is all very interesting. Did you realize that the last letter of the previous 5 questions, when put together, spell the name Satan? No, I did not. Does that make you uncomfortable? No, not really. Are you good at finding hidden puzzles or clues? I can be. Are you now wondering what other hidden messages are placed within these questions? Damn it. Yes. Yes, I am. Have you been entirely honest with your answers thus far? Yes, I have. Are you afraid of the consequences for answering questions dishonestly? I mean, yeah, because I don't want to... If I'm doing this to learn what it has to tell, then yeah, I don't want to answer anything dishonestly because it might affect the answer that I get. So yeah, I'm afraid of the consequences. Were you aware that there could be potential consequences for answering dishonestly? well, I'm aware of the consequence of not getting the right answer. So if that's one consequence, then sure. But, I mean, apparently there's other ones. But, yeah, I was aware. Are you wondering how these questions began to take a strange turn? Little bit. Would you consider yourself captivated? No, not really. Very interesting. Would you consider yourself to be brave? I would like to think so, yeah. I'm typically braver than most people would be on some things. Do you view yourself as someone with above average intelligence? Yes, I do. Only because I know my personal IQ. Have you been looking for hidden messages in these questions? Okay, honestly, no, I haven't. I honestly haven't. Are you wondering which hidden messages you may have missed? Yes. Have you begun to wonder how long this test will take or how many questions exist in this session? No, not really, because this is going to be one episode regardless. Would you consider yourself to be a patient person? Yes, I would. I do have quite a bit of patience, sometimes a little too much with certain people. Do most humans annoy you? Hell yes. Yes. Do you prefer animals to people? Okay, this is a hard one. This is actually difficult because I do really enjoy animals, but you can't necessarily have an intelligent conversation with animals. So I keep saying typically, and I need to stop because it's looking for a finite answer here. So, do I prefer animals to people? I'm gonna have to say no, because with people, you can sit and have an intelligent conversation with people, but with animals, typically that conversation is one-sided. I mean, there are some animals that might understand like simple things, like for example with a dog, you can tell a dog to do certain things and it will understand, but you can't sit and have an intelligent conversation with an animal. So, do I prefer animals to people? No, I prefer people to animals. Do you believe in magic? This is fun. I would like to say yes, I believe in magic. However, on the other side of things, I do know like magicians have like sleight of hand, they have tricks to kind of divert our attention and move it away from what they're trying to do. But I still would like to say that I believe in magic. I do. Do you believe in God or the existence of some higher form or higher power? So, I personally grew up in a religious household, and I have my own viewpoints and my own sights on things that the rest of my family may not necessarily agree with. But I do believe in a higher power. I do believe in certain religious beliefs. There's just certain instances with some parts of the religious beliefs that I don't necessarily agree with. But as far as believing in the existence of a higher power, I have to say yes. Do you fear death? I mean, I enjoy the concept of living because life has so much to offer. There's so much for us to do and experience in this world. But my viewpoint on it is when it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Whether you believe that from a religious standpoint or just from a personal standpoint, I personally don't. The only thing that I would fear when it came to death would be having regrets. So that's not necessarily fearing death. That's fearing regret. I want to live my life without regret. And with that in mind, I think that just leans more toward regret rather than death. So no, I don't necessarily fear death, but I do fear regret. Are you attracted to someone whom you're not currently in a relationship with? No, I'm not. Did you answer the last question with 100% honesty? Yes, I did. Are you alone? Currently, yes, I am. Are you sure? Oh. Yes. Yes. If I told you with the utmost certainty that there's something watching you, would you believe me? No. Have you wondered who I am? Little bit. You never introduced yourself. Hi, I'm Amarok. Nice to meet you. Who are you? Have you had shivers at any point during this session? No, I haven't. Do you feel like you're being watched? Well, in a manner of speaking, I kind of am. Because you guys are currently watching me. So, in a manner of speaking, I am being watched. So, yes. Have you considered quitting this session early? No. No. How dare you, sir? Or ma'am. I'm not sure yet. You haven't said. Do you drink water every day? Yes. How did you know? Do you eat at least once per day, every day? Of course. This body doesn't maintain itself, you know? Do you realize that there's a high probability that you've missed a plethora of hidden messages thus far? Yes. Are you wondering what they are? Yes. Would it bother you to never know without finding them yourself? Oh, would it bother you to never know without finding them yourself? You know what? Yes. Yes, it would. Is your favorite number 7? I honestly don't have a favorite number. Unless you're going in the regards of what numbers I like to use most frequently. In which case, 7 would not be it. My favorite number would have to be 5. Life is short, but it's the longest thing we'll ever do. Do you agree? Yes, I do. Because from the moment we're born to the moment we die, we're constantly in life. So, yes, I do agree with that. Oranges cannot be compared to apples. Do you agree? No, I don't agree. Because oranges and apples, even though they are different, they do have similarities. So yes, you can compare them. Case being, both of them come from a tree. Both of them are fruit. So yes, they can be. You can compare them because they have similarities. So because they have similarities, they also have differences. So yes, you can compare them. Venus is sometimes referred to as the morning star. Did you know that? I did not. Well, okay, I feel like I should have known that because I love astronomy. But as of this moment, no, I did not know that, though I'm not sure if I knew that. So I'm going to have to say no. Everyone deserves a second chance. Do you agree? Yes, I do. Because everybody screws up. We're human. We're not perfect. We all make mistakes. However, if you don't learn from that mistake, that's a different story. So, do people deserve a second chance? Yes, people deserve a second chance. But you have to learn from that second chance. So yes, everyone deserves a second chance. You can do anything you put your mind to. Do you agree? Yes, I do. Because as human beings, we are amazing creatures. Because we can achieve just about anything we want to if we work at it hard enough. Will we run into roadblocks and difficulties? Of course, we always will. But can we achieve what we put our mind to? Yes, we can. Now, whether or not we personally achieve it or not, rather than somebody after us, that's a whole nother discussion. But if something is difficult enough that requires enough people, and you have those people all dedicated to it, technically everybody is still putting their mind to it and to achieve the same goal. So yes, you can achieve anything you put your mind to. Obedience is more important than freedom. Do you agree? No, I do not. I do not agree with that. Freedom to make your own choices is key to everything. Because if you don't have the freedom to make your own choices, make mistakes, learn from those mistakes, you don't grow as a person. If you're just blindly following, or if you're just blindly obedient, then you don't learn anything. You're just going through the motions. So obedience is not more important than freedom. No, I do not agree with that. Underwater adventures sound like a fun time. Do you agree? Not really. I would feel much more comfortable exploring space than I would underwater, because we know more about space than we do our own oceans. Our oceans are terrifying. I mean, we already know for a fact that there are creatures that live toward the bottom of the ocean. That is tons and tons and tons of pressure on their body, and we can't even get down that far to see most of them. So we don't know what the hell's down there. So no, I do not think that an underwater adventure sounds like fun. No. Did you realize that the first letters of the previous 8 questions spelled the phrase "I love you"? No, I didn't. Damn it! That's another one I missed. Oh, man. I'm missing these bad. And part of me wants to start writing these down, but part of me also wants to get through these questions. So no, I did not realize that. Do you wish to be loved? Yes, I do. I would argue that I'm already loved by several people. If this is talking about like life partners and things like that, then yes, I do. I would. Have you ever felt hated? Yes, I have. Actually, I've been hated by some of my friends a couple of times. So yes, I know what it's like to be hated. Do you have any addictions? I guess I would argue that I'm addicted to games, but mainly because it's an escape. I'm not addicted to anything like alcohol, drugs, nothing like that. But I would say that I'm probably addicted to games because games do provide an escape for me in some aspects of life. So in that regard, I would have to say yes. I do have to say yes to this. But I mean, I would say there are worse things to be addicted to. That's for sure. Like I'm not addicted to tobacco, cigarettes, vaping, nothing like that. I'm not addicted to alcohol, drugs. So I would definitely say video games are kind of on the lesser end of that spectrum. So do I have any addictions? Yes. I have a small addiction to video games. Do you dislike the color pink? No, not really. Honestly, I don't really dislike any colors. I mean, it's a color. Does the color gray seem depressing? No. I see gray as... Gray isn't necessarily a depressing color to me. It's a in-between. So, like, you got white, you got black, and gray is right there in between. So, no, I do not see gray as a depressing color. Do you enjoy loud music? Huh. Yeah, I enjoy loud music. I've been to a couple concerts here and there. Sometimes I do enjoy just blasting my own music at home. So yeah, I enjoy loud music. Do you like to dance? No, because I am terrible at it. I can move to a beat and that's about it. But, no, I don't necessarily like to dance. Would you consider yourself normal? Hell no. Normal's boring. Do you love your parents? Yes, I do love my parents. Have you ever been lied to? Yes, several times. Do you get angry often? No. And that's actually something that I have made a personal choice on in life is I don't like to get angry. Ever, really. Unless it's... The only time I really get angry is if somebody I know gets hurt by somebody else, or if one of my friends is mistreated, something like that. That's what will get me angry. But I don't really get angry often. It takes a lot to get me angry. So no, I do not. Do you hold grudges? I want to say no, but in all honesty, I have to say yes. I do have a habit of holding grudges. It's not something I'm proud of. I don't like to hold grudges. But I do, and if I'm being honest with this questionnaire, I have to say yes, I do hold grudges. Have you ever forgiven somebody? I have. And a couple times it has been difficult to, but I have. Have you ever done something that you knew you shouldn't have done, but still did it anyway? Teenage me was a handful. Yes. I did things that I knew I would get in trouble for, but I did them anyway. So yes. Have you ever lied? Of course I have. Everybody has. Have you ever cheated on a test? Yes. You won't cheat on this test. Do you think flowers are more beautiful than trees? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. I don't think that flowers are more beautiful than trees. I think they're both equally beautiful. For example, I love bonsai trees. Bonsai trees are just gorgeous, and they're not huge, but they've got their own beauty to them. But I also like certain types of flowers as well. So, do I think flowers are more beautiful than trees? No, I do not. Have you ever wanted to be an animal instead of a person? Well, yes, I have, because for many reasons. But yeah, there have been times where I've wanted to be an animal instead of a person. Far less responsibilities, that's for sure. Do you believe you have psychic powers? No, I do not. Have you ever seen a ghost? I have. I've had quite a few pretty terrifying experiences when it comes to paranormal stuff, and it's not fun. That's for sure. Some stuff has been truly terrifying. But have I seen a ghost? Yes, I have. A couple times. Do you dream often? I do. I'm a pretty heavy daydreamer. ADHD typically does that to you. End up daydreaming a lot, thinking about a lot. So yes, I do dream often. And I enjoy them. Do you have nightmares often? I wouldn't say often. I have nightmares occasionally, but I would not say often. So if we're reading this as it's written, I'm going to say no, because I do not have them often. I do have them occasionally. Do you suffer from anxiety attacks? I've had a few, but I don't get them a lot. But yes, I have suffered from anxiety attacks, so I have to say yes. Do you suffer from depression? Wow, this is this is getting deep, guys. Wow. Okay. I have to say yes. I do have some depression here and there. It's not like deep depression or anything like that. So I know there are people out there with depression who've got it far worse than I do. But I do have some depression. Some. So I have to say yes. Do you exercise often and stay active? I used to. A couple years ago, before I had a back injury, I did used to stay pretty active, but since then I haven't. So as of right now, I have to say no. Trying to get back into it, but I have to say no for right now if I'm answering this honestly. Is there a particular type of food that you despise? Yes. Yes, it is. There is. And that would be fish eggs. I do not like fish eggs. No. Would you consider yourself emotionally wounded? No, I wouldn't consider myself emotionally wounded. I've been physically wounded several times. But emotionally wounded? I'm going to have to go with no. Have you ever felt betrayed? Yes, I have. I certainly have been betrayed several times in my life. And betrayal is something that hits you pretty deep. It's not something that is ever taken lightly, and it's very hard to come back from. So yeah, I have been betrayed in my life. Do you ever feel lost in life? I think, I'm speaking for myself here, but I personally would believe that everybody in their life at some point has felt lost. Now that may not be true, but I have to go with yes. I have felt lost in my life, and it's hard to find your way. Would you consider yourself a natural leader? Yes, I would. In a lot of things, I typically take the lead on a lot of things, Sometimes it gets a little annoying to some people. I know it probably gets annoying to some of my friends, but I would consider myself a natural leader. If you could push a button and destroy the world, would you press it? No. I wouldn't. I would not push the button because yes, the world has a lot of issues. That's that's putting it mildly. But the world's also got a lot of beauty to it. It's got a lot of growth to it, and I don't think I would want to push a button to destroy the world. So no, I would not push the button. Do you sometimes dream of being a hero? Well, yeah. I like the idea of being a hero. I also like the idea of possibly playing a villain role. But we're answering this question right now. Have you ever been bullied? I have. When I was younger in elementary school, I was bullied quite often, actually. Have you ever bullied somebody else? Not to my knowledge. I don't think I have. If I have, then I'm going to go ahead and say sorry to whoever is out there, but I don't think I've ever bullied somebody. Would you consider yourself to be a dreamer? Of course. I love dreaming. Thinking of all sorts of stuff. You know, I could be dreaming about walking through a forest, or I could be dreaming about flying an airplane. I don't know. But yes, I dream quite often. Do you sometimes hurt people's feelings unintentionally? Yes. And I feel bad every time I do. I'm a very blunt and honest person. I tend to be very straightforward with my answers, and I tend to tell people who are closest to me what they need to hear versus what they want to hear. And it ends up hurting their feelings. And I feel bad about it, but I don't mean to do it. So yes, I do hurt people's feelings unintentionally. Do you find space fascinating? I already said this earlier. Yes, I love space. I absolutely love space. Would you consider yourself to be an artist? No. I cannot design anything to save my life. Interior design, I actually have a very weird knack for that somehow. But as far as being an artist, no. Not my forte. Would you consider yourself to be a good friend? I would like to think so. I would like to think that I am a good friend. There are probably some people out there who might say differently, but I typically try to do my best to be a good friend. Would you consider yourself to be flawed? Of course. Of course I'm flawed. Everybody is. Have you ever fantasized about being a supervillain or performing heinous? Oh, damn it. I just said earlier, yes. I have to. I already told on myself. Yes. Yes, I have. Do you believe in perfection? No. I don't believe in perfection. I don't believe that anything can be truly perfect. And it's because of that everything has its own beauty to it. If everything was if you could make something truly perfect, then you would have nowhere else to go from there. So, no, I don't believe in perfection, because if something is perfect, it has no room to be improved. So no, I do not believe in perfection. Have you ever stolen from somebody? You know what? When I was younger, yes, I stole something from somebody. It wasn't anything major, it was something small, but yes, I have stolen. So answering honestly here, would you ever kill somebody under any circumstances? Would you ever kill someone under any circumstances? So I think this is one of those questions where, of course, it depends on the circumstance. If it was killing somebody in cold blood, hell no. Of course not. But if it was a situation of it's me or them, meaning that they're going to take my life if I don't take theirs, I would probably have to say yes. I might not, like, I know I answered in one of the questions earlier, I don't fear death, and I don't. But at the same time, I'm not just going to allow somebody to just take my life from me. It's not theirs. It's not theirs to take. So if it was a matter of their life or mine, or a situation of their life, or like if I'm trying to protect somebody from somebody else and they don't leave me another choice, then yes, I have to say that I probably would. It's not something that I'm proud to say, but yeah, I'm not going to allow somebody to take my life from me. So yeah, if it with it as far as this question's concerned, I'm gonna have to say yes. Depending on the circumstance, yes, I would. But I'm not just gonna go out and take a life. I would. This is one of those situations where this would only happen if I had no other choice. So I'm gonna have to say yes. If you had one day to live, would you tell anyone? You know, I'm probably gonna have to say I think I would go with yes with this, because if I had one day to live, I would want to. I would tell those who I'm close to, because I would want to live that day like no other. If I had one day to live, I would want to make sure it is the best day of my life. And at the same time, I would want to give my friends and my family enough time, or I would want to tell them, because they can then mentally prepare for it. Like, it might be a day, but at least throughout that day, I could live that day with them knowing it's my last and live it like no other. So if I had one day to live, yes, I would tell somebody. Have you ever told your darkest secrets to somebody? Yes, I have. And no, you guys aren't going to get lucky enough for me to tell you. No. Do you trust me even though you know nothing about me? No, I don't trust you. You asked me earlier if I had trust issues. I answered yes. So no, I don't trust you. Do you know who I am? No, you have yet to introduce yourself. Well, I know who you are. Oh? If I appeared behind you right now, would you scream? Yes, and I'd probably punch you. If I told you that I've been behind you this entire time, would that scare you? Yeah, it would. Would you consider yourself to be empathetic? Oh, hell yes. I'm an empath to a T, and it sucks. Would you consider yourself to be romantic? Yes, I'm a hopeless romantic. I'm not afraid to say it. Yes, I am a romantic person. Have you ever been in a physical fight? Yes, I've been in several. Are you prone to headaches or migraines? I mean, I do get them occasionally, so yeah. I guess you could say I'm prone to them. Do you look at the ground when you walk? Sometimes. I guess this is asking just in general. Have you, like, do you look at the ground when you walk? So yes, I do look at the ground when I walk sometimes, but you know, not all the time. It's not asking, do you look at the ground? Have you looked at the ground when you walk? It's, do you look at the ground when you walk? I'm seeing that as majority of the time. And majority of the time, no, I do not. So I'm going to answer no. Are you attracted to the opposite sex? Yes, I am. Would you ever share your head? Huh? Oh, pff. Would you ever shave your head? I can't read, guys. I'm sorry. Would you ever shave your head? Yeah, I would. Actually, I've thought about it a couple times. Are you attracted to muscular bodies? No, not really. Do you ever dance when no one is looking? No. I don't like to dance, period. Do you trust your best friend entirely? Yes, I do. I trust them entirely. And actually, I've got a few best friends. And each of them I trust no matter what. I could tell them anything, and I know that it's going to stay between us. I know that. So yes, I trust my best friend entirely. Do you remember your childhood extremely well? For the most part, yeah. I remember quite a bit about it. Would you rob a bank if you could get away with it? Ooh. Tempted. Would you rob a bank if you could get away with it? So if I knew I could get away with it, then probably. But that's only if I know for a solid fact that I could get away with it. If there was any possibility that I would not get away with it, then no. But I'm taking this as asking, I know I would get away with it. And there's no doubt that I would get away with it. So I wouldn't go with yes. However, I'm going to use a majority of the money to go to charities. Do you ever dream about running from a killer? You know, I've had one or two. I've had one or two nightmares like that. So yeah. Do you ever dream about falling off a cliff? Yeah. You guys ever get that feeling where you're dreaming and then you wake up because you feel like you're falling? Yeah. I've had quite a few of those, and it's mainly from like stuff like this. Do you ever dream about being naked in public? No, haven't had that one. Do you enjoy scary movies or books? I don't enjoy scary movies. I do enjoy scary books though. So it says enjoy scary movies or books. So I have to say yes, because I do enjoy scary books. Do you enjoy comedic television shows or movies? Yes, I love to laugh. I love to laugh, love to have a good time. You know. Do you like being the center of attention? There are people who would say yes to this. There are people who would say that I do enjoy being the center of attention, but quite honestly, not really. I don't really like being the center of attention. I like, you know, now that I think about it, maybe I do. Like, I have a shyness about me to where I don't always like to be the center of attention, but there are times where I do. There are times where I do like to show off a bit and like to be the center of attention, but it's not all the time. And I say this because if I didn't enjoy being the center of attention, I wouldn't have a YouTube channel. You guys wouldn't be watching this. So I'm going to have to answer yes on this. Because there are times where I do enjoy being the center of attention. Do you feel like something is always watching you? No, I don't. But I'm watching you now. This is like the third question that you've said that like something is watching me. Have you ever wondered what it would be like to go to space? Of course. I love space. I would love to go into space. Have you ever had an out-of-body experience? I have. I've actually had a couple of them, and they're trippy. They're very, very trippy. Anybody who's experienced one will tell you that it's not comfortable, but it's not uncomfortable either. So yes, I have had an out-of-body experience. Have you ever punched a nun? No, I can't say I've done that. Do you like dogs better than cats? Yes, I do. Big time. One of my dream pets is a timber wolf. So yes, I do like dogs better than I like cats. Do you prefer to read more than you prefer to watch movies? Yes, I do like to read more than I do watching movies. I don't really like movies all that much. There are a couple that I do like seeing. I have enjoyed seeing, but I do prefer to read a lot more. So yes, I do prefer to read more than movies. Are you still wondering why I asked you if you've ever punched a nun? A little bit. That was kind of out in left field. Do you get starstruck easily? No, I don't. Because, you know, stars and whatnot, they're people too. So no, I don't get starstruck. Do you hate going to big parties and social gatherings? No, I don't. I enjoy going to parties and such. Though I typically like going to them if I at least know a couple people. I don't like to go to something that I don't know anybody. So as long as I know somebody, yeah, I love big parties. I love social gatherings. Is your favorite part of your birthday receiving presents? No. My favorite part of my birthday is being able to spend time with people. Are the presents nice? Yes, they're nice. But it's not it used to be when I was younger, of course, but nowadays, no. My favorite part of my birthday is actually being able to spend time with the people that I enjoy to spend time with, whether that be my family or my friends. So no, my favorite part is not receiving the presents. Seriously though, have you ever punched a nun? Like really, just bam right in the face. Nun punch. No, I haven't. No, I have not. Did you laugh? Yes, I laughed. Did you say what the fuck in your head or even aloud? I don't know, guys. Did I say it earlier? If I answer this question wrong, tell me in the comments because I don't remember. I don't remember if I said what the fuck. Unless of course this question is tricking me. Did you say what the fuck in your head or even aloud? If it's talking about when I'm reading the question, then I have to say yes because I just did it. So, you know what? Yes, I'm going to answer yes. Because if we're treating this question, by itself, then, and not relating to the other question, then yes, I just said what the fuck. So yes. Are you now eager to somehow get the opportunity to punch a nun sometime soon? No. Is there a hell? Do you think you're going to it? You know, probably. I know my friends and I joke about this all the time. But I honestly don't know. I don't know. This is one of those things where, you know, if you're a religious person or if you're not a religious person, it's one of those things you won't know until it's time to know. So, like, I won't know until I'm dead. So, if there's a hell, do you think you're going to it? I don't know. Quite honestly, if the same question about heaven pops up, I'm probably going to answer it yes too. But I'm going to answer this yes. Do you enjoy fantasy fiction games? Oh, hell yes. Hell yes. Is your mouth dry? I don't like these questions, good sir. Or madam. I still don't know yet. Is your mouth dry? No. Does profanity make you uncomfortable? No, because I use it too often. Do you believe in legendary beasts such as Loch Ness Monster or Bigfoot? Dude, cryptids. Yes, let's go. Are you poor with money management? No, I'm not. I'm typically pretty good with my money. Choose one of these numbers that you feel resonates with you most in this very moment. 21. 21. Choose one of these colors that you feel resonates with you most in this very moment. Red or black? Red or black? Those are two of my favorite colors. I'm gonna have to go with black. Gotta go with black. Choose one of these words that you feel resonates with you most in this very moment. Wicked, sick, plagued, wretched, toxic, vile. Let's go wicked. Choose one of these words that you feel resonates with you the most in this very moment. Blessed, glorious, divine, angelic, heavenly, celestial. I really don't know. Let's go with celestial. Choose one of these words that you feel resonates with you the most in this very moment. Luck, skill, strength, agility, intellect, and charm. Skill. Do you enjoy solving mathematical puzzles? Occasionally, yeah. Yeah, I do. Do you speak more than one language fluently? No, I don't. I wish I did, but no. Have you ever visited a country other than your own? Yes, I have. I have indeed. Do you enjoy coffee? I do. Do you believe in demons? Yes, I do. Do you believe in angels? Indeed, I do. Are you afraid of sharks? Yes. Do you prefer baths over showers? Actually, yes, I do. I do enjoy baths over showers. Showers are just easier to do. Does the smell of perfume or cologne give you a headache? If you're one of those people who apply way too much, then yes. But just standard, no. Did you see a shadow move in your room a few moments ago? No, I didn't. That's fortunate. Okay. Do you ever hear your name being called when you know no one is calling it? You know, okay, it's actually, I've heard, like, people have asked me this question before, and my answer to it is yes. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys yes. And it's creepy because the more and more I've looked into it, like I look into like the paranormal stuff quite often. I like to learn about it. It's something that just entertains me. And there's lots of different explanations for it, and each one of them is creepy. But I have to answer yes to this because I have. And one of the ones that really sticks in my head was when I was little. My parents were in the living room, and I was in my room playing. And again, I was little, like I think I was younger than 10 years old. I was in my room playing, and I heard my mom calling my name. So I went to the living room and I said, "Yes, Mom, I heard you calling me." And she's like, "I didn't call you." I'm like, "I heard you calling me." It's like, "No, I didn't call you." I'm like, "Okay." So I went back to my room and I went back to playing. That happened 2 more times. And each time my mom told me that she didn't call me. So that one moment sticks in my head the most. But I've had similar instances happen before. So I have to answer this question yes. Do things in your home often go missing and then reappear later? Yes. At my dad's house, my parents are divorced now, but at my dad's house we have this one ghost named Bob. Bob likes to steal things. He's stolen my grandmother's shoes before, and she ended up having to drive home without her shoes that night. And then they showed up in the middle of the living room about 6 years later, covered in dust. And then there was another time where my dad had this like clown Halloween mask that he would use every year to scare the absolute piss out of anybody. And that went missing. And he looked for it for like 4 years. And then apparently it showed up again in the middle of his bedroom, just laying on the floor. So yes, we do have a ghost named Bob in our house, and he likes to steal things. Things will go missing, and then they just reappear years later. So yes, I have to answer that one honestly. Do you hear footsteps around you when you're alone? I also have to say yes to this, because this ties into some of the paranormal experiences that I've had in my life. Do you ever hear random knocking noises around you? Again, goes right back to the paranormal experiences, yes. Do you often look at the same time on the clock every day? Actually, it's funny you should say that, because one of the times that I typically end up looking at the clock for is actually 7-11 and 9:32. So, though, yes, it's weird because I'll glance over the clock and it's either 7-11 or 9:32, and it's weird. It kind of freaks me out a little bit. So yes, I have experienced this. Have you ever felt your feet being grabbed at night when sleeping? No, I have not experienced that. Do you have any pets? I do. Is your favorite color green? No, it's not. Are you attracted to a family member? No. No. If you won the lottery, would you share the money with anybody? Yes, I would. I've got my own plan about how I would divide it up. That stays in my head, though. Do you ever wonder what it would be like to be in prison? No, I can't say I've ever wondered that, because I don't want to go to prison. So I don't want to wonder what it's like to be in prison, because I don't want to go to prison. Do you like fishing? I do like fishing. Do you like hunting? I also enjoy hunting. Do you like camping? Heck yeah, I like camping. I've actually tried to get my friends to get together and all of us go camping together. We hadn't gotten there yet, but it's going to happen one day. Do you like guns? I do. I'm going to be honest. I like guns. Are you getting tired of answering questions? No, these are actually kind of fun. Would you consider yourself to be kinky? I'm going to go with yes. Eyes are the window to the soul. Do you agree? Yes, I do. Because if you look into somebody's eyes, you can see intentions through a person's eyes. Now, this could also be coming from me being an empath. But yes, I do agree with this. I do agree with this. Do you always keep your promises? I do my absolute best to keep my promises. Though, can I say that I've always kept my promise? No, I can't say that with honesty, but I always do everything I can to keep my promises. As far as this question goes, I have to answer no, because I have broken a couple promises. But I do try to do everything I can to keep my promises. Would you ever completely trust somebody who's lied to you? That's tough. That's very tough. I'm gonna have to go with no. I have to go with no. Well, okay. I'm still gonna have to go with no on this, but if it's something like a person's lied to me about something little, like, you know, something minor, nothing like serious or whatnot, then okay, no, I might not have an issue trusting them with that. But if it's something big, for example, like if somebody lied to me about something of major significance, like telling me that, or not telling me that somebody died, or lying to me about some medical issue that, for example, if it was like a family matter, like we'll just say a family matter, and it was a matter of health, and somebody lied to me about a person's health being better than it was, even though they knew that it wasn't, and I found out, then no, I would not trust that person to tell me anything about that ever again. So it's a matter of circumstance here, but like it said, like the quiz said at the very beginning, create the circumstance that fits into your mind, and that's the one that fits into my mind. So would I ever completely trust somebody who has lied to you? I have to go with no. Are you an only child? So this one is tricky for me, because as far as like blood goes, I am the only blood child of my parents. However, I do have step siblings. I've got 2 older step siblings and a younger step sibling, and then I've also got a adopted sibling. Or he's basically an adopted sibling at this point. So this is a tough one, because I don't consider myself an only child anymore because I have siblings. But if this is in the matter of like blood child, then yes, I am technically an only child. So if we're talking children of my parents, then I have to say yes. So I'm going to go with yes on this. Do you ever enjoy being drunk? No, I do not. I've been drunk one time in my life, and I hated it. So no. Do you like tattoos? Some of them, yeah. I do enjoy some tattoos. I've actually thought about a couple in my life. There's 1 or 2 that I do want to get. So yeah, I enjoy tattoos. Do you enjoy being high in any form? Honestly, not really. No. Do you believe you have a soul? I do believe that. I do believe I have a soul. Now we could go into a whole nother ballpark as far as like things related to the soul, but we're not going to get into that right now unless this thing makes me. But do I believe I have a soul? Yes, I do. Did you cry this week? I have to say, yeah, I did. I actually had a pretty intense conversation with my grandmother the other day, and it was one that brought me to tears. So yeah, I'll be honest, I cried this week. Are you upset with someone right now? I am. I am upset with somebody right now. Is there someone you're not being completely honest with daily? Not that I know of. Not that I can think of in my head. I don't think so. I don't think so. So no. Do you understand how this works yet? I think so. I think I'm understanding this. I think it's presenting me with these difficult questions to really make me think about how I would approach these situations. So yes, I think I'm starting to see how this works. If you answer the questions twice, your truths may change. It's not just about answering the questions, it's about the time you spend answering them and the combination you answer them in. Oh. Okay. So I was a little off. It's about many different variations you'd never guess. Do you understand? Or it's about many different variables you'd never guess. Understand? A little bit, yeah. Yeah, I think I kind of understand that. Are you wondering if the end of the test is coming soon based on the previous questions you just answered? No. Because I think this is a curveball. I think there's more to it. If I were to tell you that this entire process was planted here for you, specifically you, to learn something about yourself, and anyone else that bothers using this is just a byproduct of its intention, would you believe that? No, I wouldn't believe that, because the questions that were asked were, for the most part, general questions. And as you just mentioned, it's not a matter of how you answered, but it's not just a matter of how you answered, but also a matter of how much time you spent on them. So with those variables in mind, no, I don't believe that this was catered specifically to me. However, I do believe that the combination in which things were answered and the time spent on them would start to cater it toward me in that regard. But do I believe that this was made specifically for me? I'm going to have to say no. I don't believe that. Are you afraid of being abandoned? I mean, yeah, I am. I don't think anybody really likes the idea of being abandoned. So, yeah, I'm going to have to say yes to that. Are you afraid of dying alone? Am I afraid of dying alone? Yes. I am. Do you worry that one day you'll be unexpectedly murdered? No. I don't. Are you always on guard waiting to fend off an attack? Yeah. Yeah. Mainly because when I was younger, and I was bullied, I had to be on guard, so that's kind of pulled into the rest of my life. Do you feel like I know you yet? Well, probably. I probably think you're starting to learn a bit about me. I think you guys are starting to learn more about me than you thought you were going to. Have you heard any strange noises while answering these questions? No, I haven't. I think we have enough information about you. Whether you skipped questions, answered honestly or dishonestly, took loads of time to respond, or answered quickly without reading or understanding properly, I've been able to tell. I'm calculating your results. I'm analyzing you very carefully. I'm judging you. Hey, you don't have the right to judge me. Based on what you told me, this is what I can conclude. People would do real well to start taking you a bit more seriously and listening to you a lot more often. Your intelligence is incredibly underrated, even by your own standards. If a zombie apocalypse were to ever occur, you'd be everyone's best friend because their relationship with you wouldn't be an option. It would simply be a necessity to survive. You have so much to offer to this world and those around you, but you absolutely must make your talents and knowledge readily available. People are often too afraid to ask you for your opinion at times. Even when they do, they're afraid of your truths. You're not like others. You're special. Not everyone is going to cut it in this life, and that's an unfortunate fact. But you, on the other hand, are going to thrive no matter what happens. You've got what it takes to take any project to the next level, whether it's working on your own or as part of a team. You're underrated. You're underappreciated, and you're often misunderstood. It's not fair, but life isn't fair, and it never will be. Life will always be what you make it, and you've got some insane amounts of potential. Ultimately, it's up to you to do what you decide to do with it. One thing I will say, however, is that you need to snap out of the false reality that you tend to live in sometimes. The world you've managed to escape to in your head, while much better than the world around you, is not going to get you anywhere in life. Ouch. Okay, that cut me pretty deep. Actions are what make things happen. Actions will take you to the next level, not just sitting in your head all day long. Let this be the swift kick in the ass you need to be productive and take things to the next level. Don't waste any more time. Just kick ass and allow yourself the successful life you deserve. Your secret word is order. Remember this word. This will come in handy. All right, my secret word is order. Okay. I'm going to write that down. Take the secret word that was assigned to you at the end of your session and leave it in the comments for us. We will be selecting some of you based on your answers to be included in a future project we're currently working on. Don't be afraid. This is an opportunity for you to be part of history. This is a chance for you to be part of something greater. Be sure to note your secret word in your comments. If you do not wish to be a part of an upcoming project, simply leave your secret word out of your comments and we will not select your name. We appreciate any and all comments you leave and will always read them thoroughly. Thank you for taking the time to answer these questions. I know they've been of some help to you, and if they aren't yet, it will all make sense very soon. Trust me on that. Well, that was an awesome game. I enjoyed that, and it definitely made me think about things I normally wouldn't. So I'm definitely going to play the other games and see what this secret word has to offer, because this was neat and I enjoyed it. But we're going to wrap it up here, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take it easy.